Hi guys, welcome to this small session dedicated to the discussion of IBPS PO Prelims 2020 first day exam. So the exam that happened yesterday on 3rd of October 2020. Now this is not an analysis session. I'm not calling it an analysis session because it's not an analysis, actually not exactly an analysis, because I'm not going to discuss any questions with you. I'm not going to discuss the question types, the breakup of the paper and all. And the reason is simple, that I know that all of you already know about it. Fine. So the web is full of all the questions and all. The same questions PDF is floating around everywhere. You have already seen it and all. So you're not interested in that. The reason I'm here is that many of you are sending us queries about the cutoffs, normalization, what will happen, the difficulty level of the paper and all those things. Kitna mushkil tha, cutoff kitni jayegi, normalize hoga nahi hoga, would this slot be normalized, and all kinds of things. And when we look at it, we kind of realize that there is so much ignorance still around. So do not mind me saying that. It's okay not to know stuff, but it's important to know stuff if you do not know stuff already. So I'll talk about the paper first, just in brief. I'll not waste any of your time, do not worry, it'll be a very short session. Paper was, I'll say on similar lines, but a little tougher, definitely a little tougher. So most of the people found the paper a little tougher than what they were expecting, found it tougher than what it was like last year. Many of the people are repeaters, many of the students are repeaters, so they found it a little tougher. The composition of the test was changing in slots. So the composition of the first slot, the breakup of questions and all was changing across slots. So 1 was different from 2, 2 was different from 3. So it was not predictable, and so was the difficulty level. So you understand it, difficulty level was changing. First slot was perceived to be the easiest, second was perceived to be the toughest, and it makes a difference. So that was the challenge. But the good thing was there were no new question types. You were always slightly scared of new question types. Naya to kuch nahi aa jayega. So naya to aise kuch nahi tha paper mein. So yes, but the mix was a little different, and so the paper was a little challenging as compared to what the people were expecting, right? So when you talk about cutoffs and normalization and how would I get and what is a safe score, yeah, safe score is another thing that you people keep asking. So what we did was we kind of ran a survey yesterday on our Facebook group, in which fortunately a lot of people participated. It's like 1,500 people, I think, around that number participated. So I picked the data of some 1,200 people from that. When I picked the data, it was like 1,200, which is a fair number. So that it kind of ensures the data is not skewed. And I asked them something very objective, and I'll just share the results with you first, and then we'll share my opinion. Just be there with me, listen to the whole thing before drawing any incorrect and incomplete inferences from what I say, right? So I request you to just stay with me and listen to it once, and then you can figure out whether whatever you did was safe or not safe and all such things, if that's possible, right? So just look at this chart first. So guys, this table shows you the perceived difficulty level of yesterday's exam. What is this perceived difficulty level? What is the difference? Perceived means kaisa logo ko laga, and I mean when it comes to this thing, something like this, the paper, perceived is everything. So perception is reality. So do not fight with me saying, sir, ye kaise ho sakta hai and all. So I've just taken data, a lot of data, data from a lot of students. It's not just 10, 15, 20 people. So it's not skewed. Fine. I'm sharing with you the perceived difficulty level of the 4 slots. So let's just look at that and draw our inferences. So it is like this. Slot 1 is probably the easiest of the 4 slots yesterday. 17-18% people found it easy. Medium difficulty level 65%, and then tough just 17%. Compare it to slot 2. Slot 2 yesterday, 92.34% found this slot to be tough. So that you're not confused, let me just explain what this means. It's like this. If you add this up to 100, fine. So if there are 100 people who wrote in slot 2, who wrote the exam in slot 2, 92.34 out of them found it tough, right? So if there are 100 people who wrote the exam in slot 4, around 8% or around 8 found the exam to be of medium difficulty level. If you look at this chart here, slot 2 looks like it was the toughest. Slot 4 would closely follow it. It will be at number 2. Slot 3 would again be on the tougher side only, but not as tough as slot 1 and 2. So it will be at number 3 in terms of difficulty level, and slot 1 was definitely the easiest. It was like that. But how it makes a difference? When the exam happened in the first slot yesterday, so many people said it was easy, it was easy. Now when we did this, that easy changed to medium. So now 65% people are saying it was medium level of difficulty, and just 17% said it was easy, but was still much bigger than slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, where it was just like 4% people saying that was easy. So what is sure is that if you look at this data, 2, 3 for
They're definitely tougher. Slot 1 was easier, 2 was the toughest, then comes 4, then comes 3, and then comes 1. Now, do not fight with me over this data. Do not. I'm just the messenger. I'm just sharing with you a few insights so that we can draw some meaningful inferences out of it, right? Stats don't lie. Data झूठ नहीं बोलता, so it's also like that. ये झूठ नहीं बोल रहा है. It is what it is. This number is also important. If you look at it, this is for overall test takers. This is out of 1200, the total, fine. So I did not consider the slots here. Of the total people surveyed, 76.51% found the paper to be tough. 17% found it medium, and just 6.28% found the paper easy. What does that mean? It means that the difficulty level of the paper was definitely up yesterday. It was up, and it's proven. So you'll always find some good people who will say it was easy. Let them say that. I mean, easy and difficult and medium, it's all subjective terms. So a paper that's tougher for me can be easier for you. You might be very good. Fine. So it can always happen. So do not argue with anybody, but you have the numbers in front of you. Right, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, after the second slot, somebody texted me, 2-3 people texted me saying I could do just 50, 55, 58, 53, like that. Good students, fine. So I had reasons to believe that slot 2 is much tougher as compared to slot 1, because slot 1 ke baad mein people were saying it was around 70, 75, 60. So on an average, the attempts were on the lower side in slot 2. And after that, slot 3, 4, 3 was again slightly easier, not as 1, but slightly easier, and 4 it went up again. It was like that, and whatever you felt after the paper, you are like entitled to your opinion, to not get bogged down by what people are saying. So if somebody is saying slot 2 is very easy, do not think कि आप एकदम से बेवकूफ़ हो गए हो या फिर आपको आ नहीं रहा है या आपने खराब कर दिया. नहीं, it was actually tougher. So you have the data in front of you. Slot 2 toughest, then slot 4, then slot 3, and then slot 1. What does that mean to you? What does this data mean to you? This data just means this thing for you. Though this is irrelevant. If you ask me, should just forget all this, go back to your studies for me. But if you have to draw inferences from this, it would be like that. So if you did say 70 in slot 1, if you did 70 in slot 1, and your friend did 55 in slot 2, and your friend is worried that you did 70 and he just did 55. So I don't know if 55 in slot 2 would be equivalent to 70 in slot 1, because the accuracy and all would also come into the picture, because you might be more accurate than your friend might be more accurate. But in terms of marks and all, you can generally assume that it might still translate to something that's equal, right? So that is the reason I'm sharing this with you, because many people who appeared in the tougher slots are worried about this unnecessarily. I'm out of the race and all, and I see it every time that people do this, lose out, finally they'll realize that they're selected, and then they will start panicking कि मैंने तो तैयारी स्टार्ट ही नहीं करी. So that is the reason I'm sharing this with you. So your slot might be tougher. Rest assured, it'll be taken care of. Now, I mean, one more piece of information that I wanted to share with you. When we ran this data, because you must be aware that the number of people who appear in different slots are not equal. So if it's 4 slots, for example, here it's 12 slots, would be 12 slots. But if it's 4 slots, it will not be 25, 25, 25, 25. So some slots are generally more filled up than some other slots. I don't know. We have been running this for years and we have always seen that. So here also, the good thing is that more than 35% of the people appeared in slot 2. So you have reasons to be happy. बहुत सारे लोग ने मुश्किल slot में दिया. And just 15% of the people surveyed, I'm talking about the surveyed people only, appeared in slot 1, just 15%. So 15 out of every 100 appeared in slot 1, if this is any kind of consolation for you. But you will still ask me, sir, उन लोग के लिए तो अच्छा हो गया, slot 1 वालों के लिए, उनके लिए तो पेपर आसान था, तो हमारे साथ गलत हो गया. नहीं, किसी के लिए कुछ अच्छा नहीं हुआ, किसी के लिए कुछ खराब नहीं हुआ. It does not make a difference. It does not make a difference. And here that normalization things come into the picture. I just wanted to explain it to you in brief, because there are so many misconceptions about it. इतनी भ्रांतियां है ना normalization को लेकर. लोगों को लगता है कोई devil है, कोई राक्षस है जो मेरा पेपर खा जाएगा. And the funny part is that everybody feels that he has been wronged. आपको भी लगेगा आपके साथ चीटिंग हुई है, आपके दोस्त को भी लगेगा आपके साथ चीटिंग हुई है, उसके साथ चीटिंग हुई है, सबको लगेगा सबके साथ चीटिंग हुई है, सबके साथ ही चीटिंग हो गई. 100 लोग बैठे, सबके साथ चीटिंग हो गई. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? इफ़ आई बेनिफिट देन यू विल बी रॉन्ग. मुझे फायदा होगा तो आपको नुकसान होगा, ऐसे ही होगा ना. बट सबको लगता है अपने साथ चीटिंग हो गई. ये नॉर्मलाइजेशन का प्रॉब्लम है. एंड हियर आई विल से दैट वी हैव बीन अ लिटिल अनफेयर टू दीज एग्जाम बॉडीज. Normalization is a very scientific process. It's not like your YouTube educators predicting cutoffs
मैंने बोला 54.5 से लेकर 58.75 तक के बीच में आएगी, कैसे यार, किस, चलो विल टॉक अबाउट दैट लेटर, उसको छोड़ते हैं अभी। कोई नहीं कर सकता प्रेडिक्ट उस तरीके से, बट नॉर्मलाइजेशन इज अ साइंटिफिक प्रोसेस। आई एम जस्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट टू इन ब्रीफ, प्लीज लिसन टू इट, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड द रीजन वाई इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट इज बिकॉज after you try to understand how it works, like your belief in the exam body, your trust in the exam body will be back. I mean at times you do not feel like taking the exam seriously because आपको लगता है सब चीटिंग होती है, सब किस्मत चल रही है, किस्मत होती है, I understand, but when it comes to normalization and all, नहीं फर्क पड़ता. So if you were there in slot 1 yesterday or slot 2 or slot 4, it does not make a difference, does not make a difference. The only thing is how did you do as compared to others, I would say, who were there in your slot. How did you do as compared to others, vis-a-vis others in your slot? So don't compare your performance with somebody who appeared in slot 1 if you are a slot 2 guy. Don't do that. I'll prove to you how it will not make a difference. Now stay with me. I'm just going to explain this process to you. So I'll take help of this small example to make you understand this. But before we discuss this table, I'll just discuss the genesis of this problem. इसकी उत्पत्ति कहाँ से हुई है, ये परेशानी शुरू कहाँ से हुई है जो आप लोग को नॉर्मलाइजेशन पे विश्वास नहीं होता. I'll tell you what. So what has started happening is that from the time the exam has gone online here in all these exams, right? People, let's say I'm an aspirant who does 60 in a test, and I do 60 in a test, and when the score comes, the score sheet comes, it shows the score as 72. It happens with so many people. It has happened with so many people in the past. Fine. So though I'm not complaining because I got 12 marks more than what I attempted. It's not even the marks. I did 60, I got 72. I'm not complaining, but I share it with my friends. 12 marks more. So what I assume is two things. Now listen to me carefully. One is that I am a James Bond. I got everything correct. 60 out of 60. But where does that 12 come from? ये 12 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा कहाँ से आ गया? तो मुझे 12 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा मिल गया. I got 12 marks extra because I appeared in a tough slot or probably the toughest slot. This is how we think. This is what many students think. गलत भी नहीं है सोच, ऐसी कुछ हुआ होगा. But the problem is that another person, another friend of mine who appeared in the same slot, who did 65, just ended up with a 65. होता है ना, आपने बड़ी सारी ऐसी कहानियाँ सुनी हुई हैं, heard stories like that. वहाँ पर आपको लगता है सब झोल है, सब में प्रॉब्लम है इसमें. अब हुआ क्या होगा मैं आपको ये बताता हूँ. वहाँ पर the guy who did 60 could have, now let's just forget about the scores that show in the scorecard. 60 वाला 72 and 65 वाला 65 पे रह गया, उसको भूल जाते हैं. Let's just talk about their raw scores. So the one who did 60 could have actually got a 55, 56. There are people whose accuracy is pretty high. 60 out of 60 तो नहीं आता है किसी का, but yeah, it can be pretty high. 55, 56 भी हो सकता है. The one who did a 65 could have ended up with a 50. So your attempts do not tell you anything. They do not tell you anything. Your raw scores is all what matters. But even in raw scores, you would say that the same addition should happen in all the cases. तो अगर उसको 12 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा मिले तो मेरे को भी 12 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा मिलने चाहिए. So he gets 12 extra, I should get 12 extra. Same slot. It doesn't happen like that. Another issue is, I'll explain what happens in such cases. Another thing is that people of other slots would ask, even my slot was tough. He got 12 extra. So why did I not get 12 extra? मेरा slot भी मुश्किल था. Even the easiest slot ones would say, कुछ तो मुझे भी एक्स्ट्रा मिलना चाहिए. अरे यार, अब सोच के देखो, इफ दे ऐड 12 टू एवरीबॉडीज स्कोर, वुड इट मेक एनी डिफरेंस टू द कॉम्पिटिशन? No, it will not make any difference. It's a competitive exam. The toppers would still go through. The ones in the bottom would not make it, isn't it? So it will not make a difference. So why is this done? This is done to adjust the scores according to difficulty levels. So if I am somebody who appeared in a tough slot, I am given something extra to make me reach at par with somebody who appeared in an easier slot but who is otherwise at par with me. How is that done? We'll discuss that. But I'll address one more issue before that. So इसका आंसर बहुत लोग के पास क्या होता है when of that 60-65 वाला example that I gave you, that इसकी accuracy ज़्यादा रही होगी. Fine, that this is the explanation. So the one who attempted 60 and got a 72 and compared to the one who attempted a 65 and got a 65 only, ये 60 वाले की accuracy ज़्यादा रही होगी, तो इसके ज़्यादा नंबर बढ़ गए. ये फिर से मिसकंसेप्शन है. इट्स कंप्लीटली इनकरेक्ट. इट डज नॉट मेक अ डिफरेंस. अगेन, आप लोगों ने अपने को समझाने के लिए एक्सप्लेनेशन बना लिया, इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. सो आई एम पुटिंग इट कैटेगोरिकली हियर. यू अटेम्प्ट अ 50 इन अ स्लॉट, फाइन. अनदर पर्सन अटेम्प्ट्स अ 60 in that slot. You get 50 out of 50 correct. Hypothetical example. 50 out of 50 correct. You end up with a raw score of 50, not a scaled score, the one that you see in the scorecard, but a raw score of 50. 50 all correct, you get a 50. This guy gets 8 incorrect. So 52 correct, 8 incorrect. So I think it's the same score of 50 then. Yeah, 2 plus 2 minus 2 हो जाएगा, ठीक है. So your score and his score, raw scores would be 50. Even your normalized scores would be the same. I know this for sure. No exam gives you marks on accuracy unless they mention it categorically. कहीं mentioned नहीं है, कुछ नहीं लिखा हुआ है, accuracy से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It is a different matter that people who are generally more accurate tend to score more. तो common sense है. अगर मेरी accuracy आपसे कम है तो आपके नंबर जनरली भी मेरे से ज़्यादा आने ही चाहिए ना. यू आर अ गुड स्टूडेंट, मतलब unless you are somebody who when you're trying to be accurate just do 25-30 questions in the paper, but if you generally are around the same mark and you are more accurate than me, you tend to score more. बस यही यूटिलिटी है accuracy की, इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. मतलब in a nutshell I'll say you will not get any bonus marks for accuracy. Whatever you get. Whatever is the merit of accuracy is there in front of you. You get a good score, you get less negatives because of being accurate, but no bonus marks for accuracy. You get that point, and that's the reason we ask you to go for educated guesses. So if you can eliminate 2-3 options, mark the answer. Say that all the time in analysis and all. That's the reason accuracy makes no difference otherwise, other than what is seen. एक difference तो आपके सामने है, but no bonus marks for accuracy. अब लास्ट चीज आती है, होता क्या है, हाउ डज नॉर्मलाइजेशन फंक्शन. आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट टू यू. इट टेक जस्ट अ कपल ऑफ मिनट्स टू अंडरस्टैंड. प्लीज लिसन टू इट एंड लेट्स गेट डन विद इट वंस एंड फॉर ऑल. कभी भी नॉर्मलाइजेशन के बारे में इसके बाद में शिकायत नहीं करेंगे. इट मेक्स यू फील बैड अबाउट इट, अबाउट द होल प्रोसेस. सब खराब है, पता नहीं होगा सिलेक्शन. माँ बाप ने इतनी उम्मीदों के साथ यहाँ पर पैसा लगा के पढ़ाई करवा रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं, एंड हमारा पता नहीं एग्जाम बॉडी क्या कर रही है. खराब माइंडसेट है, निकलो इससे. इसके लिए समझ लो इसको एक बार. Look at this table now. This is illustrative data. It's just an example. It is not actual data. Before you jump on me and say कि ये तो गलत है. Just illustrative. So these are percentiles, 99, 95, 90. These are all percentiles. These are slots. 3 different slots. Not yesterday's slots, but random slots. 3 different slots. So I'm telling you how it works or how it should work. This method is called equipercentile method. It's given there. Fine. So not the details, but yeah, otherwise it's mentioned in IBPS brochure as well. That's called equipercentile method, and that's how it should work. Assume करो कि slot 1 में 99 percentile पे, you understand what percentile is? Percentile, I hope everybody understands. Percentile means if you've got 93 percentile, 93 percentile means that of the total test takers, 93% have scored less than you. So if your percentile is say 70, so 70% of the total test takers are below you. If your percentile is 99, 99% of the total test takers are below you. That is percentile. That's a simple thing that you need to understand. Now here in slot 1, because slot 1 is easier, let's assume that slot 1 is easier in our illustrative data as well. This is not reflecting yesterday's slot. I am putting that disclaimer again. Don't fight with me, kitna nahi aayega, utna nahi aayega. This is just an example, right? Let's say in slot 1, it is 65 marks, 99 percentile. In slot 2, because it is tougher, it is 45 marks, 99 percentile. And slot 3, because it's somewhere in between, it is 55 marks, 99 percentile. Now, this trend would be there even for 95 percentile scores, even for 90 percentile scores would keep changing. Fine. So it would be like that. So what happens is that when they say equipercentile method, what that means is that say you are in slot 2. So you are at a disadvantage. आपको कम number मिले, जबकि you are as good as this guy who in slot 1 got a 65. Now if we have to compare slot 1 candidates with slot 2 candidates, अगर इनका मुकाबला 1 वालों का 2 वाले से करना है तो कैसे करेंगे? So what they generally do is they pull up their scores. slot 2 और ये कम वाले slot, जो मुश्किल वाला slot है, so स्कोर को ऊपर ले जाते हैं यहाँ पर. So I think this is what is happening. So they will take this 45, will make it 65. What this would look like would be that this becomes 65 and this becomes 65. It should be something like that. Likewise for 90 percentile, if 90 percentile in slot 1, which is the easiest slot, it's 48 marks. Here it is just 32, so they will make it 48. They will make it 48. It will be all 48, 48, 48. For example, if you assume that the cutoff of this test turns out to be 90 percentile, it is in terms of percentile only. So slot 1, 48, he gets shortlisted. Slot 2, 48, he gets shortlisted. And slot 3, 48, he gets shortlisted. It would be roughly like that. But actually if you look at this slot 2 guy who got 48 in the scorecard had got a raw score of only 38. So these raw scores are the ones that you get after doing that +1 minus 0.25, isn't it? So that's called your raw score, and after that, after normalization, what you get would be called a scaled score. Now one question here, why do they change it to the marks of the lower slot or the easier slot? The reason is very simple. So if I attempt the paper and I'm expecting, say I did 60, I'm expecting say 50 marks. Did 60, expecting 50. So I will not complain if I get a 70. I will not complain if I get a 65 or 55, but I'd start complaining the moment I get a 40. So I think that they normalize it upwards. So they take the base as the easier slot and increase the marks of the people who are in the tougher slots. That's a simple reason. अब इसमें एक काम ये भी हो सकता था, अगर आप इसको देखो सेम चीज में they could have given this guy 45 and this guy 45, ये भी हो सकता था. Fine, they could have this guy 32, this guy 32. The competition would have remained the same. It would not have made any difference to the competition. But होता क्या, in general feeling खराब हो जाती. People would have said exam body चोर है, number कम कर रही है. It's a competitive exam. If in a competitive exam they say that I am deducting say 10 marks of everybody's score, does that make a difference? No. It's not your board paper. वहाँ फर्क पड़ता था, यहाँ ना बोनस मार्क्स का फर्क पड़ता है ना डिडक्शन का फर्क पड़ता है. It makes no difference. They can add, they can subtract, as long as they being fair, it makes no difference. Here in this case, I'm just taking a hypothetical example again. They can do it like this as well. They make it 70, they make it 70, they make it 70, or they make it say 60, they make it 60, they make it 60. It can be some other score as well. We are not sure, but what we know is that they are increasing the marks for everybody, and for the easier slot the increase either does not happen or it's very little. For the tougher ones it's much higher, and that's the fair thing to do. So how does these cutoff things function then? So let's say on the basis of my exam takers, the pool of the students, I realize that 98 percentile is my cutoff. That's not decided beforehand. On the basis of the performance you decide the marks and all, the number of test takers, and accordingly जितनी vacancies है उस हिसाब से आप decide करते हो. So 98 percentile across all the slots would then make the cut. So I'm just giving an example again. If for the unreserved category the cutoff in a particular exam is 93, for example 93, so the top 7% candidates qualify. So what will happen is, or what should happen is, that top 7% candidates would qualify in all 12 slots. All 12 slots, top 12%, top 7% candidates would qualify. It will not be unfair. But what would reflect in your scorecard, that scaled score would not mean anything. It means nothing. So if it says the cutoff is 70, for example, I'm just explaining to you by giving example. If it says cutoff is 70 and your percentile is 93, so 93 is the percentile which is the cutoff, but that 70 means nothing. You could have got a raw score of 45, you could have got a raw score of 72, a raw score of 65, it could be anything. The way I explained to you through this table, it could be anything, but generally it's a score that's not lower than your raw score, because then there will be some unrest. लोग शिकायत करेंगे मेरे नंबर कम क्यों है, तो उसको बढ़ा देता है सबके लिए, बस इतना फर्क पड़ता है. So at times when you say the cutoff 70, it's sky high, yeah, it's high, but it's also high because they are normalizing it. So normalizing में raw scores दिखते ही नहीं है आपको. Raw scores are not visible. It's just the scale scores which mean nothing. The only thing that would matter would be competition, and competition is reflected only through percentile. So when you look at these scorecards, they are indicative of what you could have got, but they are in no way accurate. Look at the percentiles, and that's the reason we keep saying, even in the mocks, look at the percentiles. Percentiles are the only thing that's going to matter in the end, nothing else. So if a paper becomes tough, it will not make a difference. If it's easy, it will not make a difference, unless they start giving you calculus in the paper, unless they start asking you questions of literature in the paper that you do not know, that you're not prepared for. You should not complain if the paper is tough or easy or whatever. Adapt, that's the key. I keep telling you, last session also I told you, adaptability is the key. पेपर आसान है, मुश्किल है, बहुत आसान है, बहुत मुश्किल है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. Just treat the paper on its merit. Do your best. Do your best in the exam, in whatever slot you've got, and do not crib about you being in a difficult slot. It'll make no difference at all. In fact, I have heard from people who appear in easier slots वालों को ज़्यादा नुकसान हो जाता है. वो भी बकवास है. किसी का कोई नुकसान नहीं होता, किसी का कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता. Process should be more or less fair. I mean, थोड़ा मोटा तो इधर उधर हो सकता है, but this is a scientific process. This is fair, and we as humans have a tendency to complain about everything. So ideally तो अगर 10 लाख टेस्ट टेकर्स हैं, they should all appear in one slot, but logistical issues हैं, and that's the reason there are multiple slots. So this is a widely accepted practice of normalization, and I'm sure they are doing it scientifically. ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरा मन करा, मेरे ताऊ जी का बेटा उसमें अपीयर हुआ था, मैंने थर्ड स्लॉट को 25 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा दे दिया, फोर्थ स्लॉट के 2 नंबर काट दिए क्योंकि उसमें मेरा पड़ोसी का बेटा हुआ था एंड मेरे को मन नहीं करा, आज मेरा मूड खराब था, बीवी से लड़ाई हो गई. ऐसा नहीं होता है यार. इट्स अ साइंटिफिक प्रोसेस. दे विल नॉट एक्सप्लेन दैट टू यू, विच इज वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट बिकॉज इट्स लैक ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन इंडियन एग्जाम बॉडीज. बट द प्रोसेस आई एम श्योर इज वेरी वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट इन द सेंस कि वहाँ पर अंदर प्रोसेस का ठीक है, आप उसकी चिंता मत कीजिए. इफ़ यू अपीयर्ड इन स्लॉट 2 yesterday, you attempted a 55, your accuracy is good, you still stand a chance. You get the point? Please just make sure that it gets in your head. इसमें एक और चीज़ देखिए, if you look at this, for example, they are all normalized to say 48 here. So what is the increase here? 8. Now if it is like that, if you look at this, the change would be different for different people. From slot 2 it will be plus 16 for this guy if they are all normalized according to the slot 1 scores. Here it would be 56, here it will be 56, no, here it will be 65, here it will be 65, it will be like that. So everybody is given marks according to slot 1, I am assuming for a moment. Now can you see the changes? Here he got plus 20, but this guy here, 90 percentile guy, just got plus 16. Here it is plus 16, here it is plus 20. It's different, here it is plus 8. So that's the reason why it will be different for different people. Even for the same slot, when you go lower, fine, so isme 80, 70, so let's say you talk about 70 percentile, so this change would be lower. So can you see this? This is a change of plus 20, this is 18, this is 16. You go lower, this change can reduce to 10 or 5 or whatever. Fine. So if you're at 70, the scores would be lower. If you're at 50, the scores would be further lower. So this difference would keep reducing, and that's the reason why when two of you are in the same slot, then also you will not get same extra marks or same bonus marks, the way you call it, and this is the reason. But are they being unfair? No, because the cutoffs are decided based on the percentiles. It will not make any difference. Another important question, cutoffs. Cutoffs कैसे predict करेंगे? कितनी cutoff है? कितनी होनी चाहिए? अब given what all I explained to you, would you still ask anybody about what would be the cutoff? Or can you not think that it's impossible to predict cutoffs like that? Let me admit something. I used to teach for CAT for a long time. You're aware, many of you are aware. So at one point CAT used to give you the question paper as well. So give you the question paper so you can calculate the answers, the scores of good students, bad students, wherever they are. Still it was very tough to predict the cutoffs. Here in this case you do not have the question paper, there are multiple slots, fine, and you do not have questions, you do not have anything. So how can one predict the cutoffs? Plus there is normalization happening. So the only way people predict cutoffs, and to be fair to them, they have to predict cutoffs because you force them to predict cutoffs. You will say sir बताइए बताइए. अब वो नहीं बताएंगे तो ऐसा लगेगा इन्हें कुछ आता नहीं है. जैसे आप में से कुछ लोग मेरे को बोलोगे इसे आता नहीं है, बकवास कर रहा है. मैं नहीं predict कर सकता. It's very tough. When the scores are normalized like this, how would I do that? Had there been no normalization, one slot, I would have given you some number basis my talks with different students. But here there are so many different students, so many different slots, different difficulty levels. कैसे निकलेगा? मैंने आपको process बताया. I told you the process of normalization. Now tell me, is it possible humanly to predict the cutoffs? It's impossible. The way people do it, I'll tell you. The perception this time is that the paper is a little tougher. So they'll look at last year's cutoff and say 5-7 नंबर कम कर देते हैं. So 60 था तो चलो 55 होगा. Now this 55 does not make any sense because for a slot 2 guy he'll be disappointed. मैंने तो 55 किए भी नहीं, मैं तो चला गया बाहर. ये प्रॉब्लम है, and this is the reason why this is unfair. Fine. But since you force people to ask or to come up with cutoffs, they'll say a number 55.33 to 59.49. ऐसा scientific है. And if the cutoff turns out to be 62, in the final score they'll be saying things like कि मैं तो बहुत close था, I gave the closest among all the YouTubers, and this is how it functions. But cutoff कोई नहीं पता सर. मजाक है वो, एकदम मजाक है. फाइन, सो डोंट माइंड मी सेइंग दैट, बट या इट्स इम्पॉसिबल. नाउ यू नो द प्रोसेस. तो कट ऑफ के चक्कर में मत पड़ो. कट ऑफ क्लियर करनी है, बट वो बढ़िया परफॉर्म करके क्लियर करनी है, नॉट बाई चेजिंग अ पर्टिकुलर स्कोर. आई हैव टोल्ड यू मेनी टाइम्स अर्लियर, व्हेन यू गेट इनटू द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल, डू नॉट कीप अ स्कोर इन माइंड, डू नॉट कीप अ नंबर ऑफ अटेम्प्ट्स इन माइंड, डू नॉट कीप दिस इन माइंड. आई विल डू 3 rounds, round 1 5 questions, round 2 7 questions. It's a stupid strategy. You cannot follow it all the time. Now just assume, I mean, सोचो इस बारे में. You have a certain strategy in mind, you appear in slot 1. You have a certain strategy in mind, you appear in slot 2. जो कल वाले slots हैं उन्हीं के बारे में सोचो. Just think about that. Could you have executed the same strategy in both the slots? No. नहीं कर सकते थे ना. इसका मतलब क्या है? You have to keep yourself open. So for people who are going to appear, जो हो गया वो तो हो गया, मेंस की तैयारी स्टार्ट करो. फाइन. Whoever is done with that, don't lose hope. बहुत ज़्यादा वेरिएंस था डिफिकल्टी लेवल में, सो दे माइट स्टिल बी अ चांस इवन इफ यू डिड प्रीटी पुअरली बिकॉज यू माइट बी इन अ टफ स्लॉट. तैयारी स्टार्ट करो. तैयारी तो वैसे भी करनी है ना फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ द एग्जाम्स. आरआर भी करना है, SBI माइट कम, हु नोज. इफ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर. सो कीप प्रिपेयरिंग, डू नॉट वेट फॉर द रिजल्ट. For those of you who are appearing in the next slot, because you'll ask me, ठीक है सर कट ऑफ नहीं तो सेफ स्कोर बता दो आप. दिस इज अनदर क्वेश्चन. बड़े मुश्किल मुश्किल सवाल पूछते हो यार आप लोग. सेफ स्कोर कैसे बताऊँ, सेफ स्कोर बताओ, बिकॉज यू आर आस्किंग मी अबाउट योर रॉ स्कोर. फाइन, स्केल्ड स्कोर में सेफ स्कोर का मतलब नहीं है स्केलिंग. आई टोल्ड यू द प्रोसेस. रॉ स्कोर में आई डोंट नो इन विच स्लॉट वुड यू अपीयर. इफ इट्स अ टफ slot, probably 50 is a good score. If it's an easy slot, probably even 65 would not be enough. How do I tell you a score, or how for that matter anybody would tell you a score? Because you force people, force educators, teachers to give you some number. They'll say some random number and फिर उसको justify करना पड़ता है. But सोचो खुद से ना, नहीं बता सकते, कोई नहीं बता सकता, because paper is unpredictable. And there was a time in bank exams that the paper used to be very predictable and it used to be a speed test. सारे पेपर एक ही से आते थे, and that was the time when people would take 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 mocks, build speed and crack the test. It is different now. It doesn't work like this. This is more like the way cat and zat and snap function. It's very different. It's unpredictable. बहुत unpredictable हो गया. Difficulty level change हो रहा है. Pattern बार बार change हो रहा है. Keep yourself open. Treat the paper on its merit. Safe score. So if I say tell you that 60 is a safe score, सोचो बस एक बार, 60 is a safe score. Would you stop at 60? रुक जाओगे 60 पे? सर ने बोला था 60 safe है. नहीं ना? What would you do? You'll go ahead. Do a 65, 70, 80. So what is the use of the 60 then? My telling you a 60, how does it help? No. आप बोलोगे नहीं सर कम से कम इतना तो मैं लेकर आऊँगा. I'll at least try and reach this figure. What if the paper is very tough? आपके दिमाग में अभिषेक सर ने बोला था 60 तो लेकर आना है. अब यहाँ तो दिख नहीं रहा यार, ये तो 50 पे अटक जाऊँगा. आप डिमोरलाइज हो जाओगे. You'll get demoralized, isn't it? So in either case it's bad unless the paper is designed in a manner that 60 is a score. अब यार कोई मैं भविष्यवाणी तो करता नहीं हूँ. How would I know that 50, 60 would be the good score or decent score in the slot in which you would appear? That nobody knows, and that's why there is no safe score. Maximize the score. The key is maximizing the score. Just remember this one term, maximize the score. जैसे आप जब बोर्ड के एग्जाम भी देते थे क्या करना चाहते थे? मैक्सिमाइज करते थे. ये और बात है, उस समय you will get 100 out of 100 in so many of the exams and the papers like that. Here you will not do that, but the target is still the same. So what is the safe score? I'll say 100. 100 लेकर आओ. ठीक है, 80 पे रह गए कोई बात, 60 पे रह गए कोई बात नहीं. वट एवर इज माई केपेबिलिटी आई विल मैक्सिमाइज द स्कोर. सो नेवर आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन एनीबडी अगेन व्हाट इज द सेफ स्कोर इन अ कंपेरेटिव एग्जाम, और फॉर दैट मैटर इन एनी एग्जाम. द बेस्ट दैट यू कैन गेट इज व्हाट यू शुड गेट ओवर पीरियड. नथिंग टॉकिंग बियॉन्ड दिस इन दिस. जो भी मैक्सिमम ला सकते हो लाओ, कहानी खत्म. कोई सेफ स्कोर नहीं है इसके अंदर. कोई सेफ स्कोर चेज मत करो. मोस्ट पीपल हु डू दिस फॉल्टर in the current avatar of these exams. It doesn't work like that. कोई कट ऑफ नहीं पूछनी, कोई सेफ स्कोर नहीं पूछना. पेपर देना है और पेपर को फोड़ देना है पेपर के औकात के हिसाब से. सो इफ द पेपर इज गुड, बढ़िया पेपर है, थोड़ी रिस्पेक्ट देंगे, I'll get a 60. आसान पेपर है तो 85 लेकर आएंगे. बस यही ध्यान रखना है. सो फॉर पीपल हु आर अपीयरिंग इन दिस एग्जाम नेक्स्ट वीक, देयर आर 8 slots नेक्स्ट वीक, 2 दिन में है. सब लोग ध्यान रखो, हर तरीके का पेपर दो. स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होनी चाहिए? व्हाट लास्ट में क्या करें? फिर कुछ नया मत करो. डू नॉट स्टडी एनीथिंग न्यू. Based on what has happened, the paper is unpredictable. It might change further in the next weekend. हो सकता है बिल्कुल. So be prepared. Keep yourself open for anything. If the paper turns out to be tough, do not panic. It's tough for everybody. I told you the method. You just have to do better than the candidates in your slot. Don't compare yourself with an easy slot candidate. Right? You got this? तो इससे आपको थोड़ी सी शांति मिली होगी. उस शांति को बनाए रखिए एंड आराम से पेपर दीजिए. इल नॉट मेक अ डिफरेंस. करना क्या है? कुछ नया नहीं पढ़ना है. इल नॉट हैव टू स्टडी एनीथिंग न्यू. जस्ट कीप रिवाइजिंग स्टफ दैट यू हैव डन. टेक मॉक्स. यू कैन टेक 1 daily, you can take 2 daily. Analyze them properly. Take variety in mocks. So don't take mocks. So for example, we released a mock test last week. Some people said it's very tough. Though it's not tough, you can see the analysis sessions as well, but it was a little different. Confidence break हो सकता है मेरा, तो मैं नहीं दूंगा. अब हो गया यार, मैं आपका दुश्मन नहीं हूँ. प्लीज़ ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड. सो फॉर एनीबडी हु थॉट कि मैं 70 नंबर वाले मॉक लगाऊंगा, अब स्लॉट 2 में पेपर दिया होगा तो क्या हुआ होगा? सोचो यार, कॉन्फिडेंस इससे नहीं आता है. कॉन्फिडेंस, यू डू नॉट गेट कॉन्फिडेंस बाई फोड़ोफाइंग एन ईजी मॉक. 10 ईजी मॉक दिए, सब में 70-75 आगे कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया. एग्जाम में क्या होगा? से यू आर इन स्लॉट 2 एंड यू आर जस्ट डूइंग दोस मॉक्स ऑफ 70-75 मार्क्स. व्हाट विल हैपन? यू विल बी स्क्रूड. एकदम से आपको पैनिक हो जाएगा, अरे ये तो मुझसे हो ही नहीं रहा. व्हाट इज द की? You get confidence by cracking mock tests of all types. Easy वाला, medium वाला, मुश्किल वाला, and do not look at scores. Raw scores नहीं देखने. So if it's a tough mock, you get a 62. That's a wonderful score. So do not say in the last mock I got a 70, I got 62, I deteriorated. No, आपने 8 नंबर कम स्कोर किया, but it's a tough mock. Look at the percentile scores only and compare your performance with what you think you could have got had you done
द टेस्ट इन एकदम आइडियल वाला कंडीशन की, मतलब सब कुछ आज एकदम मस्त किया, जितना आता था उतना सारा पूरा किया. जस्ट कंपेयर इट दैट. स्कोर्स मत देखो, परसेंटाइल देखो. सो इफ योर परसेंटाइल इज गोइंग अप 90, 92, 95, even if scores are dropping, it does not make a difference. Keep this in your head. This is very important. So next people appearing on the next weekend, take mocks. Take a variety of mocks. If you're not taken Merit Shine mock, please take that, and please watch all the 3 analysis sessions as well. There will be a lot of learning from you for you from there. Just keep that in your mind. You don't know what's going to be like. It's unpredictable. तो कोई भी मॉक जब आप किसी से पूछ के करते हो वो खराब कर रहे हो. सो इफ यू आस्क योर फ्रेंड, टेल मी एन ईजी मॉक, तूने सारा दिया है, प्रैक्टिस मॉक का आसान बता दे, ऑलिव बोर्ड का सारा दिया आसान बता दे, दैट्स बैड. यू नो योरसेल्फ कि इसमें इतना लाना है. नहीं, टेक इट लाइक दैट एट रैंडम, चूज अ मॉक रैंडमली, राइट. रखा सामने रखा, अब जज करो कितना आना चाहिए. यही एग्जाम में होने वाला है ना. सो व्हेन यू आर सिमुलेटिंग द कंडीशंस, व्हाट वुड यू डू? विल जज इट लाइक दैट. सामने रखा, हाँ ये तो आसान लग रहा है, जितना होगा मैक्सिमाइज करूंगा. दैट्स हाउ यू थिंक. सिमुलेट द कंडीशंस टू एन एक्सटेंट कि आप मास्क पहन के भी एग्जाम दे सकते हो. ठीक है, जो आपका स्लॉट है, यू ऑलरेडी नो व्हेन यू टेक मॉक टेस्ट, एटलीस्ट एक मॉक टेस्ट उस वाले स्लॉट में रोज दो. You can do things like that. This is innovation. This is thinking or orienting yourself, guiding yourself in the direction of the exam, not by cracking just easy mocks and all. No, it doesn't work like that. So if it's a tough mock, you got a 40, but you get a 98 percentile. For example, it's a good score. 98 percentile. It can be a 99 percentile, like 30 marks. It's a very tough mock. It's a good score. Why would you feel demoralized by looking at that raw score? No. Percentile score, this is one. That's one thing that you look at. And second, if you did optimally in that test, what is an optimal score? Where you're saying, नहीं यार इतना ही आता था, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकता था. I could not have got more. But if you think that you could have got more in a test because of whatever reason you did not get this, work on it. And this is what happened with many people in the Merit Shine mock. Take that, आपके लिए learning होगा उसके अंदर. So I hope now you'll not ask this question of cut off and safe score and all that to anybody. It's not worth it. किसी एनालिसिस को चेज मत करो, कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. यस, देयर इज जस्ट वन थिंग दैट यू कैन डू. एक पीडीएफ फ्लोट कर रहा है एंड बहुत सारे लोगों ने रिलीज किया हुआ है, उसमें 30, 40, 50 क्वेश्चंस हैं, मेमोरी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हैं. उनको कर लो, उनको देख लो एक बार. देयर इज नो हार्म. आई डिड नॉट फाइंड एनी डीमंस इन द पेपर. कोई राक्षस नहीं था उसके अंदर, सब सिंपल क्वेश्चंस है. पेपर कैन बी मेड डिफिकल्ट बाय फ्रेमिंग द क्वेश्चंस इन अ स्लाइटली डिफरेंट मैनर. थोड़ा सा कॉम्बिनेशन क्वेश्चंस का चेंज कर दिया, पेपर मुश्किल हो जाता है. बट द गुड थिंग वाज कुछ नया टाइप नहीं आया था, विच इज गुड फॉर यू. सो यू आर ऑल फेमिलियर विद एवरीथिंग. जस्ट लुक एट दोज क्वेश्चंस, you'll get confidence कि मैं कर लूँगा कैसा भी है. एंड पेपर वैसे ही आने वाला है, नेक्स्ट भी ज़्यादा कुछ चेंज नहीं होगा. बट अगर कुछ हो जाता है, रिमेन कॉन्फिडेंट एंड थिंक ये सबके लिए मेरे स्लॉट में सेम आया है. देखो ऐसे सोच लो इसको, जस्ट थिंक ऑफ लाइक दैट. मेरा कॉम्पिटिशन मेरे स्लॉट वालों से है. सिंपल है ना ये. मेरा कॉम्पिटिशन मेरे स्लॉट वालों से मुश्किल आया, सबके लिए मुश्किल आया. डोंट थिंक अबाउट दैट ईजियर स्लॉट ना. आई टोल्ड यू हाउ विल बी एडजस्टेड, विल बी टेकन केयर ऑफ. मेरा कॉम्पिटिशन मेरे स्लॉट वालों से है. मैं इनसे अच्छा कर सकता हूँ, ये जो बराबर में बैठा है इससे अच्छा कर लूँगा, इससे अच्छा कर लूँगा, ये जो लड़का सामने बैठा है इससे अच्छा कर लूँगा. बस दिस इज द की. एक बार वो विश्वास आ गया ना, हाँ यार ये तो वैसे डरा हुआ लग रहा है, तो वैसे खौफ में इससे अच्छा कर लूँगा, बस हो गया काम, हो गया. उनसे अच्छा करोगे हो जाएगा, बहुत बढ़िया नंबर आएंगे बाद में. स्केल्ड स्कोर में आपको लगेगा अरे कैसे आ गए इसमें 70, क्योंकि नंबर बढ़ जाएंगे. एक्सप्लेन द प्रोसेस टू यू. गॉट दिस आई होप. स्टार्ट स्टडिंग, टेक मॉक्स, एंड व्हाट वुड बी द की? आई टोल्ड यू लास्ट टाइम, adaptability is the key. I hope you remember this. ये याद है ना आपको, लास्ट टाइम के सेशन में मैंने एग्जाम्पल दिया था यूसैन बोल्ट का, और बोला था आपसे कि आप दौड़ना चाहते हैं यूसैन बोल्ट की तरह, विच इज़ गुड, बट हो सकता है आपकी जो दौड़ है वो बाधा दौड़ निकले. प्रॉबेबली और रेस वुड बी अ हर्डल्स रेस, हो सकती है ना. तो उस केस में आपको चेंज करना था अपना स्टाइल. अगर नहीं याद है, नहीं पता है, तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि आपको मेरिट की तरह दौड़ना हो सकता है. फाइन. सो दिस गाय इज एरीज मेरिट, ही इज़ द बाधा दौड़ चैंपियन, हर्डल्स रेस का चैंपियन. सो अडेप्ट योर स्टाइल. फाइन. सो फ्लैट पेपर है, ईजी है. स्लॉट 1 है, जो कल का स्लॉट 1 था तो शायद इसकी तरह. अगर स्लॉट 2 आ गया तो शायद इसकी तरह. अभी भी वही की है, इसको बिल्कुल ध्यान रखिएगा, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आसान स्लॉट, मुश्किल स्लॉट, आसान स्लॉट, मुश्किल स्लॉट. अगर आपने वो सेशन नहीं देखा है अभी तक, द वन इन विच आई एक्सप्लेन दिस एनालॉजी, बिकॉज यू लाइक इट, फाइन, प्लीज वॉच दैट एंड एक्ट अकॉर्डिंगली. ये मत सोचो मेरे को बोल्ट की तरह ही दौड़ना है, प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. ये वही इजी मॉक वाला चक्कर हो गया. फ्लैट नहीं होगी पिच, ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो हमेशा वैसे मिलने वाला है. हो सकता है कि उसके अंदर हर्डल्स हों. अगर हर्डल्स होंगे तो अपना स्टाइल चेंज करना पड़ेगा. इफ यू हैव टू चेंज दैट स्टाइल, वी हैव टू हैव दैट माइंड सेट फर्स्ट, दैट आई लुक एट द ट्रैक. फाइन. जैसे क्रिकेट में पिच देखते हैं, इसमें ट्रैक देखोगे, हर्डल्स हैं, नहीं है, हर्डल्स हैं, सो थोड़ा सा केयरफुल होकर भागना होगा. नहीं है, सीधा भाग जाऊँगा, लाइक दैट. सो यू डू इट एट द लेवल ऑफ द पेपर, एट द लेवल ऑफ द सेक्शंस.
and then it'll hold you in good stead. परेशान मत होना मुश्किल पेपर देखकर, बस अडेप्ट करना. Just keep these two images in your mind, these two images, ये दोनों की बस ध्यान आ जाएगा आपको. ये है बोल्ट, ये है मेरिट. बोल्ट आसान वाला, मेरिट मुश्किल वाला. बहुत सारे लोगों ने बाद में मेरे को कल टेक्स्ट किया था कि ये ध्यान था उनको, एंड इट काइंड ऑफ हेल्प व्हेन डीलिंग विद स्लॉट 2. फाइन. सो जस्ट कीप दिस इन माइंड. अगर आपने ज़रा तेज़ भागने की कोशिश करी हर्डल्स वाली रेस में तो प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. बस इसको ध्यान में रखना, सब कुछ एकदम ठीक रहेगा. चलिए सेशन खत्म करने से पहले एक छोटी सी एक्सरसाइज करते हैं. एक बार इस इमेज को देखिए. आई जस्ट वाइंड अप द सेशन, जस्ट वन मोर मिनट, जस्ट वन लास्ट स्मॉल वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आई वांट टू टेल यू. सो जस्ट लुक एट दिस इमेज दैट आई एम शोइंग यू and tell me what comes to your mind. So it's not a live interaction, you cannot tell me actually, but just think what comes to your mind. What comes to your mind when you see this image? Take some time, take 20-30 seconds. What comes to your mind when you see this image? What do you think of? क्या आपके दिमाग में आता है? ये पेपर है obviously, and ये spots दिखते हैं ना, 3 spots जो मैंने यहाँ पर लगा रखे हैं, ये दिखते हैं ना, these blemishes, they come to your mind. Now it's obvious, I mean, if you look at this, there's a paper, blank paper, and there's 3 blemishes, 3 spots, dark spots, they'll be visible. Now I'll give you a perspective here, just listen to it a little carefully. This is obvious that ये आपके दिमाग में है अभी यहाँ पर, but this same thing happens in our lives too. We have that paper, fine, that's our life, that's like very neat and clean and absolutely spotless. Yet we always focus on the blemishes. कहाँ हम focus करते हैं? इसके ऊपर, इसके ऊपर, इसके ऊपर, इसके ऊपर. So we might have everything with us. We might have so many reasons to celebrate. Parents, our friends, our family, wonderful set of people all around us, a good home, good food, and what you can wish for, what a citizen, what a normal human being can wish for. You've got everything. But yet what do we focus on? What do we focus on? Just think about this. We focus on this, we focus on this, we focus on this, focus on all these things. We focus on the dark spots. That's human tendency. What is this? This is our disappointments, our failures, our frustrations, our fears, things that bother us. यही सब है ना, यही सब है ना, ये सारी चीज़ें वही है ना, ये वही blemishes है ना, जो लोग हमें परेशान करते हैं, जो लोग हमें अच्छे नहीं लगते हैं, जो एग्ज़ाम हमसे क्लियर नहीं होता है, जो मेरे से ज़्यादा अच्छा दिखता है, जो मेरे से ज़्यादा पैसे कमा रहा है, ये सब blemishes हैं, यही सब. एंड इट्स ह्यूमन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है तो आप अलग हो. सबको ऐसे ही लगता है, मुझे भी ऐसे ही लगता था, लगता है, अभी भी लगता है, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. बट द टास्क इज़ टू टेक योर माइंड अवे फ्रॉम दैट एंड looking at that piece of paper, the neat clean part of it, that white part of it, in place of those blemishes. दूसरे वाले पार्ट को भी देखो it's not that difficult. इनको इग्नोर करोगे ना तो देखो ज़्यादातर तो ये क्लीन ही है ना, बस यही हो रहा है हमारे साथ. In general, we have a tendency to take the good things in our life for granted and pay way too much importance to minor issues, small disappointments, small issues, small fears, and all these things. Most of them are, if not irrelevant, they are very petty, but we pay them way too much importance and ignore the good things, our family, our friends, so many good things in life. If you're sitting here listening to me, then you're one of the privileged citizens of this country, of this poor country. So, I mean, once you start appreciating all what you've got, you'll start feeling better about yourself. You'll get positive in life. You'll expect more out of you. Fine. You'll remain happy. You'll perform better, and it's extremely important for your general well-being and also for your performance in all the competitions and everywhere in whatever sphere of life you are competing with others. But general well-being will be extremely important. So start to look away from these small blemishes. सबके अंदर प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, आपके अंदर भी होंगी, उनसे दूर देखो. Look at the brighter side of life. अच्छी चीज़ों की तरफ देखो. You'll start feeling better about yourself. अच्छा लगेगा खुद से तो अच्छा करोगे लाइफ में. Once you start feeling good, you'll start doing better in life in general. So the mantra would be to stay positive. Stay positive and let positivity and only positivity govern your flow of thoughts. You will do much better in life. All the best.